So namaste. Um, this week we had Memorial Day starting um, starting off, and usually on Memorial Day I'll bring up some sort of epic story, some type of myth or deity that was involved in a battle of some sort. So in the past, I've mentioned the Sri Bhagavad Gita. I've brought up the main character in that story, which is Arjuna. And the Sri Bhagavad Gita is also a yogic text. And it talks about every type of yoga but the physical asanas. So it mentions Jnana Yoga, the yoga of, intellect and studying scripture. It talks about Karma Yoga, which is the act of selfless service. It talks about Raja Yoga, which is more about meditation. And there's one more, oh yeah, Bhakti Yoga, which is the yoga of devotion and faith and what stems from the heart. So I've also in the past brought up the stories of Durga and of Kali and their battle stories. But what I thought I would bring up today is the reference to Virabhadra. And that term should sound familiar because we have poses called Virabhadrasana. We have Virabhadrasana 1, 2, and 3. Those are our warrior poses. So I want to tell you the backstory of Virabhadra. And now that you'll be gaining the backstory of this particular um, person, which is a personification of anger, which you're about to discover. So the story goes that Shiva, before he was married to Parvati. And Parvati had several incarnations, just like most of the deities, gods and goddesses had different incarnations. Well, Parvati was the daughter of this great king. And like any king, he wanted the best for his daughter, and he wanted to arrange a marriage for her where she would marry, another prince who was destined to become a king, who she could, share her royalty with and share her power with. But Parvati was this independent spirit, and she wanted to marry for love. And she had fallen in love with Shiva. Now, Shiva was kind of a Rastafarian type of guy. He had these long dreadlocks. He smoked ganja. He played out in the woods. He hung out with his friends. He, wore just a little bit of clothing. He was kind of grungy looking. He liked to meditate up in the mountain for a long period of time. And, the king, when he met Shiva, he was not impressed with the way he looked and probably the way he smelled. And he was just mortified that his daughter had chosen this guy, Shiva. So he was very displeased. He did not approve of the marriage, but Parvati married Shiva anyway. And she knew that her father would probably embrace him in the long run. But a year or so after they married, he had this annual celebration, and it was this religious celebration. So it's kind of like the religious holidays that we celebrate annually. Well, he had this big gathering, this big party, and he chose not to invite his daughter because he didn't want Shiva to come. He was embarrassed of Shiva. So, of course, Shiva didn't care whether or not he was going to this party or not, but his daughter cared. And she was so heartbroken that she decided, I'm going to show up to this party anyway, and I'm going to let my father have it. So she shows up at this party, and he had built this big bonfire. She got into a fight with her father concerning not inviting Shiva. And she was so distraught, she threw herself into the bonfire and pretty much sacrificed herself. So, the king was destroyed since his daughter did this, sent word to Shiva to let Shiva know what had happened to their beloved. Well, Shiva, when he found out the news of what his wife had done, he was so angry and he blamed the king. And out of the anger, one of the dreadlocks fell from his head When it hit the ground, Virabhadra, poof, was created. This was the birthing of Virabhadra. So he came forth as a personification of his grief, of his loss, and of his anger. And so it doesn't sound like the most yogic story right now, but I'm going to demonstrate really quick how this story kind of plays out. So once the dreadlock falls onto the ground, up comes Virabhadra, and that represents warrior one. He races off to the party, to where the king is, and he spreads his arm, holding the sword in the back arm. That's warrior two. He swings the sword around to decapitate the father, the king's head. He lifts up, and then he places the head like a trophy on a stake, and that's warrior three. So I know with that description of decapitation and this anger and this slaying doesn't sound very yogic, but there is a moral to the story. So let me get to that. So because Virabhadra is this personification of anger and so much grief and great loss, you know, he goes to slay the father and puts his head on display so that everybody could see at the party that he was at fault for this. So that didn't solve anything. That didn't bring Parvati back. And so the moral or lesson of the story is, and you'll often hear us say when we're holding warrior poses, when you're holding the warrior pose, can you soften your face? Can you lessen the intensity of your eyes? Can you relax your shoulders? Can you become a peaceful warrior? Because when we're angry and full of grief, we can lash out, and then we might do something that we can't take back. We might do something that crosses the line. We might do something that we might really regret. And so what we're trying to do when we're holding the warrior positions is recognizing that, yes, we are all warriors in this life, and we're all having to face different battles at different times. But can we still be in the state of yoga so that we're peaceful in our actions and not going against ahimsa? So we are going to obviously play with some warrior poses today. And that whole scene that I played out for you just now as a demonstration, we will be getting to that eventually on the mat. I do suggest a strap for this class, as well as a bolster for the end. And we're going to start on our backs. So let's start on our backs in the corpse pose. Line up the legs so they're symmetric, but away from your midline, about hip distance apart. And then let your feet roll away from one another. Let the shoulders kind of crawl down away from your ears. And let your hands take residence on your belly. Close the eyes. Start deepening the flow of your breath. This diaphragmatic breath is something that occurs more naturally when we're resting or asleep. Breathe down into the stomach and watch it rise on the inhale. And feel it fall away from the hands on the exhale. So this diaphragmatic breathing is a calming breath. A calming breath when we may feel hot-tempered ourselves. A breath that can calm us down when we're feeling impatient or angered. Breath that can help us to be less reactive. Now let's go ahead and open up the back side of the legs. So take your strap, draw both feet in towards you so the knees are bent. Bring the right knee in towards your chest and then take the strap around the ball of the right foot. Find your edge of flexibility here where your sacrum still stays grounded. Push the foot up into the strap and draw the strap down into the foot. Find your edge of flexibility with your hamstrings and kick your right heel up a little higher. Spread the toes a little wider. And then maybe make it a little bit deeper by sliding the left leg forward and out, flexing through that ankle as well. Make your breath a little bit more vibrant. So maybe maintaining the diaphragmatic breath if you're coming to the mat feeling upset or angered today, because that can calm the mind and your emotions. But if you're not feeling that type of raw emotion, then you're welcome to activate the Ujjayi breath, which can be a little bit more energizing and invigorating and audible to hear. Squeeze the belly in and start to peel the head off the floor as if you're lifting the head up towards the knee. Keep piercing the navel down towards the spine. Couple more deep breaths. Exhale, roll down to the head. Let go of the foot and land it back to the mat. Now draw the left knee in. Hook the strap around the ball of the foot for Padangusthasana A. Sail the leg up in the air. Sacrum stays nestled to the floor. The foot pushes up into the strap and the strap draws down into the flesh of the foot. Splay the toes, kick the heel up higher. Maybe deepen the stretch by elongating your right leg and planting down through the back of the thigh bone. Staying aware of your breath. And then maybe scooping in through the belly, drawing the head up towards the knee without intention to actually touch. And gently roll back down. When you roll down, bend the knee, remove that strap. Set it off to the side for a moment. Bring your hands up underneath the crease of your knees. Kick your heels up and rock and roll forward. And then find a comfortable seat. You find a comfortable seat, we're going to warm up the body a little bit more. Maybe holding, excuse me, I haven't got much sleep lately. Hold the strap, so fold it in half, about shoulder distance apart your hands, and lift the arms up overhead. Root down through your seat, lift up through your side body, curve to one side. Take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. Affirming here, strength and courage fill up my body cells. The strength and the courage to face whatever battle lies ahead. Inhale, rise up to the top. Exhale, curve to the other. And then open up the channel of breath. Chandrasana, crescent moon. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, bring the arms down. So we're gonna work on Gomukhasana arms. I'm gonna spin around so that you can see my backside. We're gonna take the strap over the left shoulder, reaching the left arm up and turning the palm to face the wall behind you. Bend the arm, find that strap, and then watch if that arm flops away, because if it does, you can use your free hand to tuck it in close to the ear so it's pointed upward. Then that free hand will come behind you to find the strap, and you start to walk the hand up so that the right arm is now hugging in towards the side body, elbow pointed downward. Try to ensure you're not creating a back bend. Iron the ribs down into your skin. Close your eyes, breathe into your shoulders. When we open the shoulders, we also bring more of the essence of the energy to the heart. Affirming here as you hold with calm faith, I open myself to light. So that idea of faith and devotion stems from the heart. What we often refer to as bhakti yoga. Now let's remove the strap and the hands, and then we'll take it to the other side. So the strap will drape over the right shoulder, lifting that arm, turning that hand around, and then we want to tuck it in close to the ear. Free, hand crosses behind the back. You can slide, wiggle, or walk it up. Notice if you collapse on one side of your body, usually that tendency is on the arm hanging down. So lift up through that side waist, as well as through the crown of your head. Slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. Affirming as you hold, free in my heart, I choose to live without any fear. So think about your warrior energy when you're fully empowered and more fearless. On your next exhalation, let's remove that strap. And we're going to come up to stand at this point. And when we come up to stand at the top of the mat, just rock back and forth from your heels to your toes. And then once you get your feet solidified to the earth, start to engage your calves and lift through your knees. Roll your thighs towards each other. Lift up energetically through your floating ribs, and notice how your arms will hang back. Now join your palms together to prayer position. Inhale, let's circle the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms together, center as you bow forward. Uttanasana. Let's just hold this first Uttanasana. We're going to be doing 5 Surya Namaskaras to build up a little bit more inner heat. Next in breath, lift halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back to plank, and immediately lower to Chaturanga. Inhale, rise to upward facing dog. And exhale, rock and roll back to downward facing dog. Pressing into the palms. But notice when you press into the padding of the hands, there is still the arch in the center, just like we have at our feet. So grip the fingertips, roll the upper arms away from the face. On your next inhale, let's step the feet to the top of the mat, lifting halfway upon arrival. Exhale, let go. So forward folds are meant to be calming and cooling to the nervous system. So these little notations are nice to remember for if or when you get triggered and you have that bout of anger and you're wanting to lash out. Forward folds, longer exhalations, diaphragmatic breathing, certain affirmations, just to keep yourself in check. Inhale, root down and come up. Exhale, we're going right back into Uttanasana. Now let's keep it flowing this time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana, building that upper body strength. Inhale, stretch out the spine. Exhale, roll it back to downward facing dog. Magnify your breath. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana and exhale, fall back in. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands come down the midline, returning to Uttanasana. Inhale, upper lift. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise to Urdhva Mukha. And exhale back to Adho Mukha. Keep soaring up through your seat. Expanding across the abdomen. Expanding across your low back. Inhaling, planting the feet at the top of the mat. Shining the heart forward before melting the heart down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale again, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, rock and roll back and breathe. Inhale to the front of the mat. Exhale, let it go. Inhale all the way up. And we're going to do one more for good measure here. Once you fold to Uttanasana, sprout up on your in-breath. Step it back and lower on the next out-breath. Rise into up dog as you inhale. Fold back on your exhale. Strengthening the denser tissues of the body, both the bones and the muscles from this weight bearing. Inhaling to the top of the mat. Exhale, fold it down. And then affirming here as you hold, nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, so we're going to be exploring some different ways to work with these warrior poses. And we're going to be stepping forward off the mat, and hopefully you'll be able to see me. So we're going to take the hands to prayer position first, and we're going to step back with the right foot and open out the arms to warrior two. So flatten the feet, roll open through your thighs, and notice your face. Let go of any intense glare. And then bring that right hand around. Stay landed on your left foot, but elevate your right knee. Pause and breathe here. Balancing on one leg. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, Padangusthasana D. Extend the right leg out. Launch forward, land the foot. Inhale, arms up, crescent lunge. Look ahead, chin parallel to the earth. Exhale, lean forward, hands to heart. And inhale, step it back. Okay. Now, next in breath, step back with the right foot. Warrior two, we're doing the same sequence. Exhale, right hand comes around. Inhale, stand, balance, and breathe. Inhale, Padangusthasana D. Launch it forward, land it down. When it's safe, inhale, arms float up. Crescent lunge. Next out breath, lean forward, hands to heart. Inhale, step it back, power to three. Next in breath, warrior two. Exhale, hand comes around. Inhale, lift the right knee in balance. Padangusthasana D on the inhale. Continue to breathe. Step it forward. Once you feel safe, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands together, step it back. All right, so we're going to be stepping forward and stepping back with this sequence. Think about how life, sometimes we feel like we take a couple steps forward and all of a sudden we slide or get pushed back again. That's what this can represent, that kind of push-pull effect. Inhale, step back with your left foot. Take warrior two. Left hand comes around. Stand on your right leg. Lift your left knee. Inhale, Padangusthasana D. Next, out breath, land the foot. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, lean forward. Inhale, step back. Exhale, be here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, left hand around. Inhale, balance on that one side. It's okay if you have to put your left toe to the floor first. I'm having to do that as well, so that's okay. It's a different transition, and our bodies aren't used to it. Inhale, Padangusthasana D. Exhale, lean forward, step it down. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, lean forward, hands to prayer. Inhale, step it back. Exhale, be here. Last set for this sequence. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, left hand in front. Inhale, balance and breathe. Inhale, Padangusthasana D. Try to avoid tucking the tailbone. Lean forward, launch down onto the left foot. Inhale, arms reach up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, step back. Exhale, relax the arms. Okay. We're gonna walk it backwards now. This is gonna be a new sequence. You know what? I don't really have the room available, and you may not either. So I'm trying to think how I could rework this. I know. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Since you may not have room behind you, because I don't either, we'll start at the back of the mat. We're gonna lift both arms up, lift the right knee up, bring the hands to prayer, lengthen the leg, step it through, kind of like what we did before. Except this time we're coming into crescent lunge. We're gonna fold over and lift to Virabhadra 3. Skate the left foot through, lift the knee up. Extend it out, Padangusthasana D. Land it down, lift the arms up. Exhale, come forward, elevate the back leg, warrior 3. And then bring the right foot down, hands to heart. And we're gonna start again at the back of the mat. So we usually start warrior 3 and then take it, but I forgot, I don't have the space. So we'll do the same thing. This time, right leg down, left knee up. Inhale, left foot, Padangusthasana D. Land it down, hands to heart. Inhale, come to crescent. Lean forward, elevate the right foot, warrior 3. Hands to heart, skate the right foot through, elevate the right knee. Extend the leg, Padangusthasana D. Step it through to the lunge, lift the arms, and we're gonna take one more warrior 3. So leaning forward, lifting the left foot. Coming down to stand with hands to heart. All right, we're coming to the mat again. Now we're going to demonstrate what I showed at the very beginning. When Shiva discovered and one of his dreadlocks fell out, and up comes warrior 1. So we're going to take the right foot back and keep the left knee in front and build the arms up to warrior 1. As we exhale, we turn the right foot, splay the arms, warrior 2, holding that sword behind us. Bringing the sword around, Lifting the arms and the right knee up. And placing the head to the stake, warrior three. And then hands to heart, lower the right foot down. Okay, warrior one. Step back with the left foot. Bring the arms up to frame the face, square your hips. Virabhadra. And then the back foot turns, the arms splay out, warrior two. Left hand comes around. We lift the left knee. Bring the arms up. And when you're ready, warrior three. Foot down, hands together. You've probably never done this many warrior poses in one class. We're not done though. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, the left foot's gonna step way back. Lunge the front knee. Shoulders draw back from the ears. Let's plant the back foot. Solidify the right. Bring the torso just to the inside of your right thigh. We're gonna move to humble warrior. So we'll lace the fingers behind our backs, draw the shoulders towards the vertebrae, and then bow to the inside of that front knee, tucking the right hip under. Inhaling, lower the hands and step up to the front and step back with your right. Basically going into this low lunge. Fingertips stack, shoulders drive back away from the face. Our warm up, our prep before the next pose. Ground your back foot, solidify the left, and just bring that left shoulder just to the inside of that left knee. That may give you some freedom to lace your hands behind you, to crank the shoulders back, and to lower the head down. Tucking the left hip under, holding and breathing. There's a biblical scripture that says, those who are exalted shall be humbled, and those that are humbled shall be exalted. Let's release the hands. Spin away from the back heel, step back plank. Now descend your knees. Separate them a little bit, big toes together. Drop back into extended child's pose. Rest on the brow. And then slim or widen the distance between the knees. Find what's comfortable in this moment. Experience the increase of oxygen into the lungs. Know that you're getting a nice purification for the lungs when you allow the breath to escape. When you become a little bit more forceful with the out breath. And then notice where your head's slightly dripping lower than the heart. So this pose can be also calming and soothing. It's a pose that you may naturally take during times of grief or loss. On your next in-breath, I want you to widen your knees if you haven't already, because we're going to walk the hands in, and you can widen the knees as your hands walk towards you. I'm going to face you so that you can see what the hands do. We're doing Siddhasana, the lion's pose in breath. So the fingers actually turn back to face you. And it's a pretty deep stretch for the wrist and the forearms. If it's too much to have both hands spun this way, then try doing one at a time. And remember, part of the moral of the story is to control our hot-headedness, to minimize how we lash out so that we're not having to do damage control later. We're going to do the lion's breath, which helps to calm us down. So take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, widen your eyes, expel the tongue. It can be as vocal as you need it to be. 2 more. Inhale. One more. And slowly peel the hands up, away from the mat. All right, we're gonna roll down to the ground. So we'll bend the knees, extend the arms, scoop the belly in. Roll it down 1 vertebra at a time. When you come down, you're actually going to stack and cross your right leg over the left. And then you're going to roll to the inside of the left foot and let the knees carry off towards the floor to the right. Inhale, knees up. Exhale, knees to the other side. Let them topple to the left. Your right foot can be used as a kickstand if it becomes too much for the back. Inhale to center and uncross. Cross your left leg over the right. Squeeze those inner thighs together and let your knees drop off to the left. Inhale, knees up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, unwind, uncross the legs, and draw both knees in towards the chest. Apanasana. Good counter after those deeper twists. And then stack your hands to your knees and circle them several times, one direction. Several times the other direction. And close them up with metta, loving kindness towards yourself. So even though we all face battles in life, it's up to our inner wisdom to discern and to determine whether or not that battle is worth fighting. Sometimes it is best to just walk away. Sometimes it's best to keep our mouths shut. But sometimes it's important that we speak up for ourselves. Sometimes it's important that we do act, whether it's in a singular way or in a collective way. Now roll to one side of your body and let's come up. I thought for Shavasana, we did a lot of leg work with all these warrior poses, but I thought for Shavasana, it would be nice to open the heart, because since Virabhadra was a personification of anger that came out of so much loss and grief, we tend to hold grief in the lungs. I've also heard we hold grief in the neck, but we tend to hold anger in the liver. So if we take a restorative back bend, this can help to open and pacify and nurture the heart, the lungs, the liver. So let's line up our body. This important time in our practice, a powerful part of our practice. It's where we can assimilate the benefits, where it integrates with the mind, the body, and the spirit. Check in to see whether or not you need any more support. And then if you feel comfortable and at ease, close the eyes. Your next inhale, let's just motivate ourselves to slide the feet back, to roll off and away to one side, and to come up to sit on the prop. Resting the palms open on the lap, turning the eyelids down. Sitting for a moment together in silence. Join your hands to prayer. The light within me honors and bows to the beautiful radiant light within each of you. Namaste.